A new think tank targeting global surveillance has been launched in Berlin. Named Code Red, it's set to link technologists and activists from across the globe. Let's go live now to one of its co-founders, internet privacy activist Simon Davis is joining us live. Hi there, Simon. What's the idea then? Where did this drive come from?
Hello. Well, we've been concerned for some time that government responses and company responses to these various leaks, such as the ones from Edward Snowden, simply haven't been good enough to protect citizens' rights. So what we did was to gather the top people in the world, the top technologists, policymakers, even former US presidential candidates, bring them all together from across the world to try and figure how we deal with this problem. How do we put more pressure on governments? How does civil society, NGOs, how do they become more strategic and active?
Did you find a solution?
Our aim is to raise the bar. Yeah, we're going to actually try and find solutions. And it's complex and it's huge, as it means everybody has to think differently. They have to think more aggressively, strategically, almost as a military way, I suppose. But yes, the idea was to bring people together, bring communities together that have never before joined hands. And this is going to be a very powerful effect. Laudable
aims, many people would say, I suppose, but are you really going to make any effect at the end of the day?
There's no doubt we'll have an effect, because if you can imagine the amplification of power, if you bring together the world's hacking communities with the world's legal communities, imagine what you can do. Imagine if your vision goes well beyond the way we currently think to engage citizens. And I think the problem at the moment is that citizens have been left out of the equation. This has been left with the elite, the educated elite, the educated campaigners. So we have to find a way to bring the public on board. And this is why we really want to make sure that the best thinkers in the world go beyond the standard that has been set for the last few decades and ultimately hold the government's feet to the fire in terms of our expectations of the way they should protect our rights.
But where do you draw the line? I mean, there is a case, a lot of people would say, for surveillance and sometimes for, indeed, looking very closely into people's lives. Yeah, personal privacy is something to be guarded at all costs, but there's also a good reason for surveillance too, for people's security and safety. Where do you see that line drawn then?
We absolutely agree there is a case for surveillance. There must be some degree of surveillance and there must be some sacrifice to privacy. But here's the problem. You have governments and security agencies and police that make a claim that they're protecting the public interest. They're protecting public safety. These institutions are never held to account. Their claims, whether it's terrorism or crime, their claims are never tested. Like, I'm talking tested in a measurable way that assures the public the right thing is being done. We can't have that level of secrecy because it's not in the public interest.
So where are you worried?
What we're saying is...
What are you worried all this information is being used for, though? Where do you think it's all going? What's your worry?
My worry is, in fact, the worry of everybody, the dozens of leaders of Code Red, is that ultimately we hold the future hostage to fortune. That the children of the future will have no privacy. If there are hostile governments in the future, then there is no freedom. There is absolute knowledge of everything you do. Now, that might be okay for the moment, but think of the future. And that's our big fear.
And how are you going to stay out of trouble yourself with the intelligence services? Because, of course, they're not going to like your laudable cause, are they?
No, we're taking this into account. In fact, the co-director, my co-director is Annie Machon, who's the former MI5 intelligence officer turned whistleblower. So I guess you could say we're on the radar screen right now.
Simon, thanks for coming onto the programme. All best to you, international privacy activist movement, Code Red, there, representative of it. Thank you.